Okay. Hey,
Hey,
everyone. Matt and Jake here.
yep.
Welcome back to another episode of Nerd Vibes. We officially have a
Mhm.
name. Um,
Yes, let's go.
I don't know if you have topics to talk about. I
Okay,
assume
well,
you do.
how about I'll throw, like we did with the previous episode, we can just start off with a question for each episode, and maybe we can take turns each episode.
Okay.
So I'll start with the ball. I'll throw the ball in first. So I think just for, I do have like a few things I want to say, but I'll just kind of start with a more, thing we can just discuss together. So, um, I forgot to mention this in the last episode, so, um, I was recently watching some uh co- well, I watched like a couple films from like my childhood recently. And some of them have some pretty emotional deaths. So with that being said, has there ever been a death in fiction that just really made you sad or just really kind of just messed you up? And this doesn't have to be just movies. You can mention video games, TV shows, books, or anything. Has there ever been just a character dying that just really just got to you?
Um, I definitely think so. I wish I was asked this question um, before we start recording so I could think of
Yeah.
an answer because I don't do well with questions in videos. Um, so you're gonna have to get back to me. I'm gonna have to think about that one. So you go
Okay.
first.
Okay. So I have like two categories of this question. One is like deaths that just made me sad, and then two just I can only just think of one right now of a just death that just messed me up. So I'll start with just the sad one. So I have a few. Obviously both Aunt May's deaths in the Spider-Man video game and the Spider-Man No Way Home. Those were just I always get teared up. But the one with I was talking about with like I was watching recently was I watched the Never Ending Story. Have you heard of that or seen that movie?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, well it's on a I don't know how I can describe, but this movie is very famous for one scene and one scene alone for because that everyone just agrees messed them up as a kid, and that is the horse dying. Um,
Oh yeah, that is sad. Yeah.
the horse So basically, like I don't know how I can describe this movie, but it's a very good movie. Basically about like this kid who gets like um this book and he sneaks off to school to sneaks off from school to read the whole book. Like he literally just goes missing just to read this book. But the book is like kind of magical, and that like he becomes like sort of like I don't know how to describe it. Like he's like kind of like it's kind of like an interactive sort of thing, but he's kind of like this like key to like the story in itself. But it's a very interesting. But there's this very famous scene of um the horse dying. There's like besides like this like main character, there's like the main character in the story itself,
Hmm.
who's on this adventure, and he has like this horse with him, and they go through this they call it the swamp of sadness, and they're just walking around, and suddenly the horse starts sinking, and it messes you. Watching this as a kid, like you're like in tears. This like horse just slowly sinking to its death, and the little like I want to mention this main character is a little kid, like, and he's like he goes through so many phases of emotion in this like one scene of him trying to get the horse to, like get up, but the horse just keeps sinking down. And just like the last thing from the scene is the kid just screaming no, and it fades to black, and the boy's the only one left in the swamp, just sitting there, just like, and it's like, oh my god, like not the horse, but
Yeah.
it's all good because the horse, the like I said, the book's like magical, so the horse comes back at the end. But like, dude, like, oh my god. And another one is you probably heard of this one because I just rewatched it on Disney Plus. Brother Bear.
Brother Bear?
Yeah, you know. Oh my god. Never seen. You haven't heard of Brother Bear either? It's
Like
a
the
Disney
the
movie.
Bernstein Bears? What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, so all right, so I'll have to describe this movie too. I highly recommend this one too. I this is a Disney movie. This was one of my favorites of my childhood, and it kind of just led it to me having bears be my favorite animal because of this movie. And so basically, it's about these three brothers. And this takes place in like caveman times. So not like caveman, but they're like to the point where they're like kind of like they have cave paintings and stuff, but
Uh-huh.
it's more like Indian sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's about these three brothers, and so um, kind of the older brother. So alright, I know I'm sorry. So basically, like the whole thing is just so it's mainly the focus of the movie is the younger brother. The younger brother, he gets there's like this like man ritual ceremony, like of like a boy becoming a man, and you get a spirit animal, and he gets a bear, and because the bear is the symbol of love, and he does not like that. It's like why, like my brother got like the eagle of courage, and I forgot what the middle brother got, but he got the animal that represents like wisdom or something. So he's like upset, and before going to the ceremony, him and his brothers went fishing, and they did not leave. He did not properly tie the fish, so a bear got into the fish, and the youngest brother forgot it. His name's like on the tip of my Kenai here. Kenai, and he finds the bear, and there's just this big fight with the bear, and the older brother who is ends up sacrificing himself, and it's a I like literally they're on top of a glacier, and he slams the spear into the ground and causing like the glacier to crack, and him and the bear both falling to their death, but the bear survives, but the brother doesn't. So but it's not like him dying really got me in tears, but it's just what happens, like the events leading up to it, leading up after it. So the younger brother, Kenai, our focus, he's pissed. So he's like, I'm gonna go kill this bear for murdering my brother. Like, I just want you to remember that this is a Disney movie.
Buh.
So he's like, I'm gonna go kill this bear. So he finds the bear, and he kills this bear. He stabs it in the chest, and you don't see it obviously, but like you do see the bear's dead body. There's obviously no blood or anything, but and because of how I interpret it is just because he killed his spirit animal, essentially. Um, the older brother, as like the great spirits, he kind of puts him on this quest to. I don't really. It's not like entirely clear from what I can recall. But he ends up transforming the brother into a bear.
Mhm.
Um, and he kind of in the movie after that, the movie kind of becomes more of a comedic film, and he meets like a little cub, and I don't want to get into it because like obviously like spoilers and stuff because but it turns very comedic, but there are emotional moments, but the transformation scene is such a beautifully shot scene for animation that I think it's one of the best in like the Disney like movie catalog. It is just that it just such a beautiful like visuals and color, like the use of blues and then oranges, and like it's the Northern Lights. It's kind of like the spirits operate with the Northern Lights. So it's and obviously the Northern Lights are always just gonna be a beautiful like visual.
Yeah.
So but yeah, that movie. So those are both movies I saw recently. Like I said, I could list so many more. We have more topics, but I'll just talk about the one that just messed me up, and that is I know this is gonna be like very controversial to talk about, but Hannah Baker's death in 13 Reasons Why just messed me up and just left me feeling hollow. And I know people hate that show, um, but that first season is really that first season's still solid in my opinion. But it just I can't watch it. It just has no. I just can't watch it because every time I watch it, I am just left like hollow on the inside. Like I can't do it like anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like and it's like because of like obviously the subject matter of her like ending her own life and stuff. But the problem is like it's like which already itself is like an upsetting thing, but it's like on the level of like she's like you get to know her as a character over the course of like the episodes in like flashbacks and stuff, and once like you see her do it, it kind of leaves you in that feeling that you want to tell her like don't do this because you've grown to know her, kind of thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it just sucks, and you just have to. Once you're done with that season, it's just like I will now be emotionally like I will now be emotionless for a week, and I feel nothing on the inside, and I'm broken.
Yeah.
It just sucks. Like it. I don't know why. It's just every time I watch season one, as good as it is, like I'm just left like hollow. That's like the best I can describe it. Just empty. Like I just like it's like I.
Yeah, and like
But
suicide is like on its own like just a topic
yeah,
that really gets to people anyways.
yeah, yeah. And I remember when like because like we were teenagers when that show first came out. Everyone was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch the show until like later it came out because everyone was like I kind of just have this thing when like Netflix shows come out and just it happens with every single Netflix show. It just there's just this and we're seeing it right now with Stranger Things. There's just this few week phase of everyone calling it the greatest show ever made, and it's just so annoying.
Yeah.
That it's like I don't even want to watch it. Like it happened with Squid Game. It's happening right now with Stranger Things, and like it's just like so that's why I steered away from it. And then like after I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
me. Like I don't get into things when they're popular. I get into things when like
yeah.
they're years old. Like I just watched one of the Avengers movies a couple of days ago and I was like, damn.
Oh, and you didn't want to tell me about it? What the fuck?
Well, like it randomly came up on TV and it was like
Okay.
2
Was it
a.m.
so? It was the first one?
I believe so. It was which one was the one where everyone where fucking Peter Parker and everyone else
Okay. So
vanished?
it was not the first one. If Peter Parker, okay, so
No. He died in that one.
okay, so that's Infinity War. That's the third
Yeah,
one.
okay, yeah,
So you
that's
watched Infinity War. Okay, yeah,
yeah, I watched that
that
one.
is one of the best ones. I will say.
It was the one where Hulk couldn't turn into Hulk.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's Infinity War. So yeah, that is a dark movie. That
Yeah.
is a very. You know what? But what sucks is I hate that I was still spoiled for it, and I remember like we were in class and they spoiled it for me, and I was like, I don't know if you remember that, but they spoiled it in class for me. They like went up to me. You probably know who I'm talking about, but they
What
were
does
like,
would their name begin with?
"See,
C.
he was very obnoxious and annoying. Everyone, he was obviously popular, but we just could not stand him."
It doesn't ring a bell. Did we have
And
any
blonde
classes
hair.
with him?
Blonde
Oh,
hair.
yep. Okay, I think I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about now.
Yep.
That narrows it down to like 10 people in our school.
Yeah,
We didn't
and
have very
yeah,
many
so he
blondes.
he he spoiled it very loud in class, and he was like, oh, Thanos won, and I was like, yeah, well, I was like, even though I was kind of like, I was like, yeah, but I was like, yeah, I figured he should win because I knew they were making another one after, like obviously of because I knew that they were originally going to do it was originally going to be Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, and but then they changed it up to Infinity War and Endgame
Mm-hmm.
now, but. So I just kind of had that hunch that he was gonna win.
Yeah.
And then like them coming, and then I also knew that obviously everyone who like disappeared were coming back anyway because they literally announced their sequels before the movie came out. So I kind of wish they didn't do that and um either just announce the sequels like after they come back or like just don't just have them disappear. Don't have those characters disappear that you literally announce sequels for.
Yeah, I don't understand why Marvel does that. Where it's like they release a timeline and then they show all the movies coming out. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I mean,
It's interesting, but like also like why do you just not keep it a secret? Like how it a
yeah, well,
surprise.
yeah, Marvel's been very bad at keeping secrets lately.
Yeah,
Literally, the biggest surprise in No Way Home everyone saw coming because everyone just leaked the hell out of it.
yeah,
I remember literally like maybe like a week before the movie came out, the whole soundtrack got leaked, and I'm like, come on, really? They're just. It's mainly might have been Sony because Sony's really bad with leaks because they obviously had the infamous Sony hack that was years ago.
hmm
Um, but yeah, they've been really bad with keeping stuff a surprise.
yeah,
Um, because and honestly, if we didn't have any clue about Toby and Andrew in the movie, I think the uproar would have been like 1,000 times better. Even when we did know, it was still like hype. Like it was
oh
still
yeah. It would have been like 10 times better if we didn't know. But like
yeah
at that point, it was too late. But everyone was still excited.
yeah. I was too because there was still part of me that had doubts
Oh
because
yeah, I think everyone was the same. We're like everyone who went to watch the movie was like, I can't wait to see them. But then like during all the movie, even me included, like we were like, are they actually going to be in the movie? And then when like Ned started doing the puddle thing in that scene with
I
Spider-Man in the
immediately
alley.
I immediately I this is gonna sound like for our podcast very nerdy, but as soon as I recognized Andrew's suit immediately because of the eyes, I was like, oh shit, it's Andrew.
Yeah,
Um, I was like, oh my god, I was literally like a little kid. So I was like literally like tugging at my uncle's jacket, like, oh my god, it's Andrew, it's Andrew. Like, and then like it was great. I that was probably one of the best theater experiences. I wish I could do that night again. Like,
yeah,
and if like I do end up, and what sucks is like with them releasing like the fun stuff version or whatever it's called, like it's not where it's obvious. Like if I go see it, it's gonna be dead because we obviously know like we're not gonna cheer again.
yeah,
Like it's just not gonna be the same.
yeah, exactly.
It's also kind of weird watching it now, on digital and stuff. What's kind of and I didn't realize this till someone pointed out. It's kind of weird how they when Andrew unmasks, there kind of is a pause so people can clap. Like
Oh
it's kind
yeah,
of intentional. Like if you watch it without a theater reaction, it's weird.
yeah.
Like
I
there's just this
remember.
pause.
I remember thinking to myself when it actually was happening, like, wow, they definitely put the pause there for a reason. They knew
Yeah,
there was gonna be cheers.
and
I mean, to
yeah.
be fair though, like I appreciate that because like I knew if they put dialogue right after, no one would shut the fuck up so I could listen. So
Yeah,
I
that
appreciate
is
it.
true too. That is
I
true.
appreciate them for doing that.
I appreciate my theater not screaming on the top of their lungs, and I could be I could still hear the movie, so I appreciate them.
Yeah.
Although I will say for Multiverse of Madness, they they kind of got a little out, like not like No Way Home loud, but like I couldn't they played like the theme of another character and I didn't hear it, but then I saw the credits for the movie and I said, "What? They played the X-Men theme from the '90s cartoon and I couldn't hear it? Like the hell? Like I'm noticing that too."
Yeah.
That's but it wasn't bad. Like my definitely No Way Home I had a better experience with Multiverse of Madness because everyone got what they wanted with No Way Home, but Multiverse of Madness still had some pretty cool cameos and everyone's still mad about it. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I heard it was mid.
Okay, so like I talked about it when we did the Minecraft stream. Like it's not like the problem with people saying it was mid is just because they had these high expectations of like these like because people were really hyping this up like this is gonna be bigger than Spider-Man No Way Home. This is gonna be way bigger. This is gonna be the best movie ever made. And then like if you get something that's like subpar, like it's automatically bad. Or you don't get what you want, it's automatically bad. We've had this conversation many times. I just hate how the fan base is just turning into this at this point. It's the same thing right now with Thor: Love and Thunder. It's like, oh, this movie was so mid and goofy. Like yeah, so was Thor Ragnarok. Oh, but they turned it up like 100 times. Like, yeah, this director is a comedy director. Like, that's the thing, and that's the same thing with Multiverse of Madness. Like, Sam Raimi, he is known for being cheesy and goofy. And like he literally directed the Spider-Man trilogy. The Spider-Man trilogy is great, and it's goofy, but it's like fun goofy, and that's the same thing with Multiverse of Madness. But Sam Raimi is also known for doing Evil Dead, one of my favorite horror franchises, which is goofy, but it's also like has that horror element to it, and that's what basically Multiverse of Madness is. Multiverse of Madness is basically an Evil Dead movie, but with Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I say. If I say don't go in with anything. Just go in for a movie.
Literally. I just go in for the experience, for the vibes. Because I don't care. I literally I'm new to this still. I know much more than I used to know when we first started doing this on the channel. But I don't expect anything. I literally just don't care, and then I enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's literally that simple.
It's hard. It's like I've said before on videos and stuff. Like it's hard to get into this series, into the Marvel Cinematic Universe now, just because there's just so much content, and it's honestly becoming quantity over quality at this point.
I agree with that. I heard someone say oh, they're just releasing a movie every fucking 2 months, and it's so annoying. And I agree. They're releasing too much.
It used
along with the shows.
I will say that it used to be before COVID and stuff, before they did release a movie every few months. It wasn't as frequent. It would just be every I would say I think the shortest time gap I can think of was I think Captain Marvel and Endgame was I think Captain Marvel came out in February, then Endgame came out in May. It wasn't that big of a gap, but now we have we had Thor Love and literally Thor Love and Thunder came out, and then an episode of Miss Marvel. See the thing we have a new episode of a TV show, and then we have a movie coming out. It was basically that. I'm pretty sure when Multiverse of Madness came out, Moon Knight was still there was a new episode of Moon Knight. So
yeah.
So now it would be go to, for me at least, it would be Wednesday, watch a new episode of a new show they drop, and then Thursday go to opening night of a new movie. That's where it's and then it's obviously they're being rushed, Like I like literally Marvel is getting like a lot of crap right now because, and rightfully so, because apparently the VFX team department there is absolutely horrible right now.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I have you heard about that going
I
on right
that's
now?
like half the things I hear about Marvel, which is like the VFX artists are like underpaid and
Yep.
overworked.
I think I saw one where like they literally like a little guy had like a mental breakdown, like yeah, and they
Yeah.
have like really strict deadlines and stuff, and I'm like, yep. I've said this before. Like Marvel has always had a CGI problem since 2013.
Yeah.
Just no one cared or noticed, and I'm just so used to it that like I don't even like I can't even like complain anymore unless it's like really obviously bad. And, um, but yeah, they've always had a. This has always been an issue. Like it's like I don't. Just, it just was specifically Iron Man 3, like that movie, like because like before then the Iron Man suits would be part practical and part CGI, and then Iron Man 3 they just made the whole thing CGI, and it was just like ugh.
Yeah, I don't really care for CGI stuff. Like CGI suits more specifically. I wish they were like actually real. I understand it makes
Yeah.
things easier for like actually acting.
I will appreciate that for No Way Home though, that um the red and gold, like the integrated suit, what it's called, that he wears like the majority of the movie, like towards like the end of the movie.
Hmm.
Not the classic suit, but like the red and gold and black. That the it was still a physical suit. It's just the logo was CGI, and you couldn't even tell.
Hmm.
That was good. I think with CGI, it kind of depends versus like practical. Like it just depends on what you need it for.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes it's just unnecessary. Like sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. But it's
Yeah.
really just at this point become like we need to CGI everything.
Yeah. It depends. Like you said, it just sometimes it is always.
Like if you look at it behind the scenes, like photo or video of like Avengers, like Infinity War, Endgame, it's literally just a giant green screen. Everyone's wearing these gray mocap suits, and it's like, oh,
So yeah, they literally just record it in like a fucking like crazy room type thing, but like
yeah,
the entire room is green. It's like, bruh. I
yeah.
understand though.
There might be some practical effect rocks, but like overall, it's just like this. That's how it's just always been.
Yeah, like I understand for like because like I said, I watched the movie basically a few days ago, and I was like, yeah, this would be hard to do practically. The kind of with space.
Yeah, I will say the Avengers movies definitely have the best CGI. It's just like some of the solo movies. It's just like it's not good.
Yeah,
It's clearly that they put more effort into Infinity War and Endgame.
because I knew
Because
those
like
were going to be the movies that got everyone's attention.
yeah, and I know like some people like are like, well, they keep making $1 billion. Why does the CGI still awful? But it's like I don't want to like defend like the mouse, but the thing is like that Marvel isn't independent. They are owned by Disney. Like
Hmm.
so with that $1 billion revenue, it's gonna go to a bunch of other stuff, not just it's not going strictly back to Marvel. It's probably going to other stuff too.
Yeah.
So they probably didn't, but I do but some CGI is still really impressive. Like I will the Kenobi show, like um Darth Vader's voice. Just for context, the guy who voices Darth Vader, the legendary James Earl Jones, he's like in his 90s. So when like the last few times they've had him come back to record Darth Vader, he sounds off. But but for the Kenobi show, they did an AI, and they did this for Luke Skywalker too. To do young Luke Skywalker, they they did like an AI generated thing, and I didn't even know it was because in because I was like when I first heard Darth Vader speak, I got immediately nostalgic as a kid because I'm like, oh my god, he sounds just like he did like in like the old movies, like, and it was like, this is great. And I didn't find out until like after the episode came out, like, oh, it's just an AI, but they still gave him credit anyway.
Yeah.
And I didn't know because going back to like what they did with Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker, even though I was so impressed by the CGI, like they did like deep fake and like voice like AI, he still sounded a bit more robotic. But when they did Vader, they had emotion. They had him talk with emotion that it like you couldn't even tell it was an AI. Like, and it worked. Like, I was like blown away, and I'm still blown away. Like, I know people don't like the Kenobi show and they think it's mid and blah 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 blah. But with everything they did with Darth Vader in that show was perfect, and I think, and just that voice, just having him sound like in like the prime Vader, just it was great. Like, I can't thank them enough for that. That was so. Like I said, like it really depends on like what like for like another good example for like where CGI is good, like is the Planet of the Apes movies where you have the apes having such in depth like emotion and movement and stuff like you really can't do with practical effects.
Yeah, I know.
It like I said, it just really depends on the circumstances. Like again, and like another thing, but with the example of practical effects is I love talking about this movie. It's a werewolf movie called Bad Moon, and I love talking about this. So I highly recommend this movie. Now I'm gonna explain it. So first of all, like the first thing is that the werewolf is a suit, and I think animatronic, like, but it's perfect. Like it's literally perfect. Like it looks intimidating. It looks scary. Like I think it's one of my favorite like werewolf designs in fiction, and up there with like American Werewolf and London and stuff. But the second part is this is why I love this movie, is that the main character is a dog, and you might be wondering like, so how does the dog being the protagonist like makes like that, and like why would you like the movie if the dog's like the main character? Like shouldn't you attach to like a person or something? But this is the thing with horror. Pets have fallen to pets in horror movies have three categories. First one is obviously they are just there to die and for like the people to find their dead body.
Yeah.
And it's usually I hate that. I hate it because I'm an animal lover naturally, and I don't like it. Like
yeah, no, it's
always
really
just so
fucked.
overly like brutal and over the top because they're like, yeah, we know it's gonna make people upset. Like it's not scary. We're sad now.
Mm-hmm.
At least with Halloween, like when they the original, like when they killed the dog, like you just see the dog's just legs, like you don't see anything like too brutal. It's just the legs just like going like flat, like that's just all you see.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then the second category is the animal would disappear like halfway into the movie, and everyone just assumes the pet's dead, and they're just like moving on. And then at the end, then they come back at the end of the movie for like the happy ending, like oh my, they're alive, like we're all safe, like yay. Or the third one is that they're the antagonists, so you have like the Cujos and like blah blah blah. But so it's just with the dog being the main character is such a bittersweet thing. And not only is the dog the protagonist, the dog survives, and the dog's a badass.
Mm-hmm.
This dog like fights this werewolf, and it's great. So what? And you might be asking, so what is this? So how can a werewolf movie with the dog as the main character work? So what's the plot? So I'll tell you the plot. Basically it's about this guy. He's on some expedition or something, and it's with his girlfriend or something. And he gets a werewolf attacks them. He ends up getting the werewolf curse, and he comes back to America, and he decides to live with and I don't know what happens. But he's ended up homeless, but he's taken in by his sister and her son, and they have a dog, a German Shepherd named Thor, and the dog is immediately very suspicious of him because the dog knows what's up. Um, they So over the course of the movie, it's pretty much like the trope in horror where, like, a good example of this trope would be like the original Chucky movie, Child's Play, where like the little kid Andy, he knows like what's up, and no one believes him, but they take this like trope, and because he's a dog, like they have no clue at all, but they just think this dog's just being misbehaving, and like there's a point in the movie where the dog is literally taken to a pound to be put down, and because like he's like the dog's just getting aggressive because he's like I know what you're up to. I'm pretty sure like the dog like finds like dead bodies. Like the dog knows what's up. And it ends with like the third act with like the kid breaking the dog out of the pound, and the dog just immediately I love just how like it's like so over the top and so absurd, but it's actually like amazing. This dog starts parkouring over cars, bolts to his house because the werewolf is after the mom. The dog runs up, gets to the house, and he fights this thing, and he these two just beat the shit out of each other. So I will say a trigger warning, like even though the dog survives, the dog gets a beating. So if you're still if you're still sensitive to animal cruelty, I don't recommend. But like they beat the crap out of each other. Like the dog bites in the werewolf, and it has like the blood just spray everywhere. Like it's like insane. But my favorite part is the mom like puts a couple bullets in the werewolf, and the werewolf's like kind of just like he's not like tanking it like per se like Michael Myers or something, but he's kind of in like this daze, and the dog's downed, like he's like bloodied up. The dog's bloodied up, but this dog is like he gets up, and it's like that moment where he's like, I think I'm gonna die, and if I'm dying, I'm taking you with me. So he tackles the werewolf out the fucking window, and they both fall from like the second like floor of like the second story of the house. Like it's badass. It is insane. And the dog's still alive. He's badly wounded, but he's still alive. He looks at the werewolf getting up, walking off to the woods. This dog's like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm not done with you. And follows the werewolf for the entire night. He follows him all night. And he follows him into the morning. And he finds him like as a normal man. He's all bloodied up because he's still wounded. And he just sees the dog following him. He's like, you know what? Like, just do it. Just fucking kill me. Like, and the dog does. And yeah. It's amazing. I know this movie isn't like critically praised, but I love the hell out of it. Like it's just one of those things where it's just so bittersweet. Just having the dog be a main character and just not only surviving but just being this badass, and like there is like a jump scare at the end where it's like, oh, like maybe the dog got the curse now, but it's just a dream, and happily ever after. Like this, like there's like it's just so absurd because like there's no way this dog should fight this werewolf, but this dog kicks its ass, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that sounds I don't even know. That sounds like a fucking fever dream.
It really, if you just look up like dog versus werewolf, you're probably gonna get like the big fight in this movie. Like, I highly recommend people just watch this movie if you're just sick of pets dying in horror movies and you want like a dog, like a character, like The dog being like the main character, like this is it. And it's not like a kids movie type of horror movie. Like this is a serious R-rated horror movie with like, you know, blood and gore. But the dog's still the main character. Like it's a bittersweet sort of thing.
Yeah.
Another one that I talked to you about, and I want to mention it because I don't even if we do this movie. So I watched the movie on. I watched. Okay, so before thing, the movie I just talked about, Bad Mood, is on Shudder. So people who have like Shudder and wants a werewolf movie to watch that one. But anyway, this one's also on Shudder. So I love this movie though. So this movie is a comedy, a horror comedy. It's called Frankenhooker, and it's exactly how it sounds. And I'm not gonna get too much into it because this would be a movie I want to review on the channel because I can already picture the thumbnail. Is that we have to like poorly crop it so we don't get age restricted, and the thumbnail just in big text it just says peak fiction on the thumbnail. Like because like, you know, we can't. I don't like know if we can like say like put like hooker in like the thumbnails or something. So just like writing in big letters like peak fiction, it would just be hilarious. But anyway, so what is this movie? What is this absurd movie about? And so basically it's about this mad scientist, and he well, for like literally, like what's so crazy is like literally I wasn't even a minute in and I was already bursting out laughing of how stupid it was. Because like it literally starts off with this mad scientist literally playing around with this like brain he created that has just this giant eyeball at a birthday party, and he's like shutting out this entire birthday party out to like play with this brain eyeball thingy. And so basically what this is about is during this birthday party he's engaged to this girl who's clearly out of his league, and she gets killed in a lawnmower accident.
Yeah.
That from a lawnmower he built or something. And it's like, yeah, and then so all her body parts go missing, like what's left of this poor woman, and it turns out the mad scientist guy, he has a plan. He's like, I'm going to bring my fiance back to life, and I'm going to use it using dead parts. A Frankenstein monster story, of course. You know, it wouldn't be called Frankenhooker, but like it's just so absurd. Like there is literally like in this mad scientist guy, he is like far gone and like he is like loony. Like he is like there's literally a scene where he's having dinner with her severed head. That's like so obviously a fake head. It's just so absurd. Like and like, you know, and then like he gives her severed hand like a poem he wrote. Like he's his way of therapy is drilling himself in the head. Like he's too far. He's like far gone. But so he's like, you know, I'm going to bring my fiance back to life. I'm going to do that. And he's like, well, I need body parts. Like, what am I going to do? So he's like, he has this light bulb. And he's like, I'm going to use the body parts of hookers because hookers already sell their bodies. That's his logic.
I mean, they do, I guess.
I just wanted, like, this movie does not take itself seriously. Like, this movie is, like, self-aware. Like, it's, like it's so but he's like, you know, no, but I don't want to kill people. Like, I don't want to murder people. Like, what am I going to do? So he's like, I have an idea. And he's like, I have another idea. I'm going to create a version of crack. Cocaine.
A version of what?
Cocaine. Crack cocaine. He calls it the super crack. And because in his logic is that they're already like addicted to crack, and that it's just gonna kill them anyway. So he's just gonna speed up the process.
Oh my god.
And the side effect is he tests this on a guinea pig. He gives it the crack, and it explodes. And not like a super gory explosion, like a spark explosion.
Oh my god.
Like, yeah. I fucking love this. So um so he goes out to like the very shady parts of town to find hookers, and he gets this like gets to deal with like the guy who like owns all the girls and stuff, to be like, because he's like, I just want to look at a bunch of girls and like know which one I want to use and stuff. And he's like, okay, like, well, if you got the money, like, but he so he immediately starts like playing doctor, and they all think it's like role play.
Oh my god.
But no, he's just, so he's like, it's just this long scene of him just examining every single girl, like just like about their body, because he's like, and it's like, because he's taking it one step further with bringing his fiance back. He's like, I'm gonna bring my fiance back, but I also want to make her the pinnacle of the female form, like to make like the perfect woman, basically, with like the perfect body and stuff. So that's why he's doing this. Like he's just taking it like one step above. And so yeah, he gives them the crack, and they all just start exploding one by one. Like it's and it's like, and what's so funny is that you can clearly tell when they switch to American Dummy. It just explodes so comedically that it's like, I don't. I'm probably gonna watch this movie again tonight. Like I just can't with this movie. And I know this sounds so stupid to you, and I sound so ridiculous just laughing to myself about this. But like, I'm like, this movie, like I used to describe the werewolf movie. This movie is a fever dream. Like this shouldn't be real, but it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, like he eventually succeeds, and he gets all the body parts, and he does like the Frankenstein thing, like he sews them back together, brings her back to life, but she just has no memory of him, and the only memory she has is of the hookers. So her instinct is to literally just escape and immediately start asking people if they need some company.
Oh.
Yeah, it goes there, and she kills a couple people on accident too, and they explode.
What the fuck?
I just, this is like one of those movies that you have to watch to believe it's real. It's like The Room. You have to see it to believe that this exists. But unlike The Room, where it's like, it's just so awful, like it just turns into like good, like this is like that fun kind of bad. Like, but the bad is like, it's clearly self-aware. Like it knows, it's like, we know how stupid this is, and we're gonna go all out on it. And oh my god, I'm not gonna give away the ending or anything, because like I said, I definitely want to do this movie for the channel, just for like the ha-has and the memes it could go about. But I felt like I said too much when I talked about the super crack, because that I literally, that hamster exploding caught me so off guard. I was dying laughing.
Yeah.
It was exploding. Like he just gives his hamster crack cocaine. It explodes.
God.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's all I'm gonna say about that stuff, because I don't want to sound much more like a dumbass just laughing about how stupid this movie is by myself. But yeah. So anyway, so Another thing, so kind of what's coming. I want to talk about it like now, because I don't know if we'll do like another episode before it happens. But San Diego Comic Con's coming up, so there's gonna be a ton of panels, and um, so there's obviously gonna be I think Marvel's doing a panel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Blumhouse is doing a panel, so I don't know if we're gonna get any more Halloween. Well, first of all, as of recording this, it literally was announced that the trailer for Halloween Ends is coming next Wednesday on the 20th. I think it's the 20th. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very very excited. We're gonna try to do a reaction video on the channel. Obviously not. I'm not gonna do like cam stuff, but I'm gonna how like I saw how you did like the No Way Home trailer, where I just want to do that. Just cut the audio and we just watch the trailer.
Yeah.
Then we'll do a discussion video about it. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if there's going to be any more things about Halloween on that. Anything for Comic-Con. I don't know what else. I usually don't tune into like if they do like live stream panels or stuff, like say like E3 or something. I don't know if I would be around to do that stuff. I wish I could. Like if I don't know if they live stream the panels, but if they did, like if I wish I would be available to do like the Marvel panels, do like we did for E3. Like I would do something like that. But
Yeah.
I probably will not be around, and because they probably do it like really early in the morning and stuff. And
Yeah, that's
by the time I like get up and get ready for work, like the trailers they released will already be online, and just like there's not really that much fun to it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know what I feel like the Marvel panel. I just feel like they're just gonna announce like 20 more shows and movies that I'm because the problem is with Marvel right now is that they're making like these shows and spin-off shows for characters that we don't want.
Yeah.
Like I loved WandaVision, but like I did not think Agatha or Monica deserved their own show. Like it's like like I sat out for Miss Marvel, but I binge watched it last night. It wasn't like I never was really interested in her character, because I feel like it's one of those things where like her whole character is just her character being significant is just her being like Muslim, and and that's like not my problem with it. It's just my problem is just her whole character is just she's just this fanboy of just mainly Captain Marvel. So it's just that's just pretty much like she doesn't really have any other like character for me. Like, and I know they did that. I know, and it's like, well, Spider-Man was a huge fanboy when they introduced him and stuff. But it's like, but at the end of the day, like Spider-Man was still Spider-Man. Like he still was like, he still like told jokes. He was still like, I just feel like with Miss Marvel, like she's just very one-dimensional. The show wasn't awful, but it does not have any rewatch value for me.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the shows don't anyway. Except WandaVision and Moon Knight. I think those are the only ones that like have some rewatch value to them. I know a lot of people like Loki too, and I do too, but honestly, like, because the way they build up the shows is like once you know the twist, there's not really much rewatch value because you already know the twist and stuff.
Yeah. Like, I just don't care for shows in general. Like, I don't care about any of the shows they do.
Because first of all, you need a Disney Plus subscription. First of all,
yeah, like, and that requires money, and I don't feel like paying money right now. So, like, I don't care about them even more.
And it's just another problem is that they want to tell so much, but they limit the show to like 6 episodes, and like them each being like 40 minutes, sometimes 50. Like, I just don't like them. either just make the episodes longer or just have more episodes. And just a great example of just this consistency is Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai, each season is 10 episodes. Each are like half an hour, 40 minutes, and they never like overstuff, or they never like everything, like, well, not everything gets resolved, but it, like, you know what I mean? Like, it just like, it's not like there's not like a lot of pressure to be like, we have to solve all these problems in the show in the last episode under like 40 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's not an issue. Like, that's like a good example. But just the problem with the Disney Plus shows, this isn't just Marvel. This goes for like the majority of the shows on Disney Plus. Is just they just limit themselves to like 6 episodes. Sometimes some shows will go a little bit more, but like and generally, like, the biggest criticisms of Marvel shows is finale episodes just being so underwhelming and just underperforming, because, like I said, they just have so much they have to build upon that, like, does not do well.
Yeah.
That's all, like, but so yeah, I'm skeptical of what they might announce. I obviously, because even though like I criticize, I'm still a fan at the end of the day. I can still criticize something and still enjoy like the content they make. Like, I still, like, I know some people think like stuff's mid. I still enjoy them at the end of the day. I still like Doctor Strange. I thought Doctor Strange was solid. Thor: Love and Thunder was solid. It just wasn't like bottom. It wasn't like awful. Like, even with like the shows, like, I still enjoy them. It's just some I just enjoy more than others. Like,
exactly.
But so yeah, I'm also looking forward to the Godzilla panel. That's because they might announce a new movie, and that is super hype. And I know some people are like, "Well, we really just got a Godzilla movie last year," and I'm like, and that's true, but that's the American Godzilla. That's the MonsterVerse. That's the American Godzilla franchise. But this is for the Japanese, the people who actually created the character.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that, because the last Godzilla movie we got from Japan, Toho Studios, was Shin Godzilla, which came out in like 2016. And that movie is I like the movie. It's just my problem is that the pacing is just way too slow, and it's intentional. But like, it's hard to watch because there's just a lot of scenes of people talking, and it gets boring, and Godzilla's not in it as much as he should be, just like some American versions. But yeah, that's not really your thing, so I'm not talk too much about it.
I do have a closing remark though, because I did come up with, the first question of this episode for the saddest death. So it isn't actually necessarily a death, but it's the Toy Story 3 incinerator scene.